Lizzie McGuire can get wrecked because this is what dreams are made of. I don't know what they put in this stuff. Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. That was super sweet of you. Oh my goodness, can we get into this eye look for a second? I got some neons going on for you today, really contrasting the dark and stormy skies that are happening outside of New York City today. But you know, I wanted to keep things bright and fun. I actually have water activated liner on my eyelashes, giving you a little neon mascara moment, but it's not mascara, it is water activated liner. I actually talked about that trick 2 weeks ago in a video I did called using makeup the wrong way. Not to plug my own videos, but this is like such a hot tip. If you have water activated liners, surprise, you also have a bunch of colorful mascaras. And I love how it looks on my lower lashes here today. But that's not what this video is about. You did not click on this video to find out tips and tricks for how to get multiple uses out of your water activated liners, and if you did, I'm so happy I could teach you some here today. No, you clicked on this video because you, like me, have an interest in my indie makeup favorites and my indie makeup wish list. So this is not the first time I've made this video. I did one of these videos last summer, so this is going to be my updated current indie makeup favorites. I also did a best indie makeup of 2020 back in December, so I talk about indie makeup a lot on my channel, but that's because I love indie makeup. When it comes to indie makeup, you can really feel the love from the creators of those brands, you know? Sometimes with mainstream makeup, it can feel a little boring. It can feel a little too like, we did market research on these colors and we know that these are the colors that are popular this year, so we're gonna sell it for $100 and rah, 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 rah. So sometimes it's just really refreshing to see indie makeup releases that feel really creative, really unique, and you really feel the love behind them. So I am a huge fan of indie makeup and I want to share some of my favorites here with you today. I am gonna try not to repeat anything I said in my previous videos. There's gonna be a couple repeats because there's some products that are like, oh, just my absolute loves of my life that I need to repeat, but I'm gonna try to keep it a little more current, share my current indie makeup favorites and what's currently on my indie makeup wish list. And I may need to even do a separate video on my indie makeup wish list because I just keep adding more things to the list because there's so much good indie makeup I wanna try. So if that sounds like a topic that is interesting to you and you want to hear all about my indie makeup favorites, then I encourage you to please subscribe and keep on watching. It's coming at you right now. I'm looking at the monitor and I'm like, do you think my choker is a little bit too tight? This choker is literally choking me. Alrighty, so let's start off by talking about eyeshadow palettes. If you couldn't tell, eyes are my favorite part of my makeup routine. And I know I told you there's gonna be a couple repeats, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get the first repeat out of the way. Friends of my channel, subscribers of my channel for quite some time, what do you think I'm gonna say right now? I'm very predictable, I'm sorry. It's the By Melolops Radioactive Eyeshadow Palette. If you still haven't tried it, if I still somehow haven't sold it home to you that this is my favorite Brights palette of all time, let me try one more time. Look at the material. It's all the chefs are kissing. It is so good. I've hit pan on 2 shades here. I have dips in almost every single shade. It's just such a good solid neon palette. When it says neon, By Melolops is not lying to you. They are actually neon. They show up so vibrantly on the eyes. I'm not wearing any of them today, but look, here's a look of me wearing the palette. Ooh, doesn't she look so cool? And look, here's another look of me wearing the palette. Oh my gosh, how stunning. We love it. So this is a great all-around palette. 9 mattes, 3 incredible transformative shimmers, $25. It's a bang for your buck, that's for certain, and it's a really high quality palette, and I talk about it all the time, so go watch any other video of mine and you can hear me talk about it a million more times, and I'll link my review of it on the screen if you're interested. But this is a phenomenal palette and it has remained one of my indie makeup favorites for a long time. Alrighty, now let's move on to the eyeshadow palette that I'm wearing today. It is a newer palette to my collection, but one that immediately stole my heart away and I just love it so much, and that is the Midas Cosmetics Perception Palette, and this one was done in collaboration with the Basic Bee on Instagram. Wait until you see the inside, but first of all, the outside, I mean, it's space. This is literally an actual image from NASA. Are you kidding me, Midas and the Basic Bee? That is so cool. You guys know me, I freaking love space. Wearing my little moon earrings today, wearing my little lightning bolt. Is there lightning in space? I don't know, but it all feels spacey to me. But look at the inside of this palette. Can you see a pattern here? Can you see the types types of eyeshadow palettes that I like. I'm a lover of bright colors, I'm a lover of neon colors, I'm a lover of vibrant shimmers, and this palette has everything. This shade in particular, what's the name? Evolve. If I had to pick one matte, colorful shade to wear for the rest of my life, it would be Evolve, and I can say that with confidence. It is such a beautiful coral. It's literally the shade of my shirt I'm wearing here today. Clearly, I love this color a whole bunch, but the mattes in this palette are outstanding. They are so, so, so pigmented, like you will be blown away by the pigment, and the shimmers are unreal. I'm gonna put a couple of these shimmers on my fingers so I can try to show you just how unreal they are. I don't know if they're advertised as duochromes, but like they are. So this is the shade Psyche, which looks just kind of like, I don't know, maybe just like a boring peachy shimmer. But are you kidding me? This is anything but boring. It's like a peachy to green to blue shift. I mean, my mind just cannot comprehend how these colors come together, but it's so, so beautiful. Another one of my favorite shimmers in this palette is not a duochrome, but the shade Motive is like maybe my favorite green shimmer of all time. I don't know if I can say that. I have a lot of green shimmers, but this shade Motive, check it out, dude. That is a wet looking green. I mean, it's just absolutely stunning. This whole palette is stunning. You get such a good variety in here too. Like if I had to compare it to my By Melolops Radioactive palette, this is like your basics, you know? If you're looking for like all of your basic neons and some fun shimmers, you got it right here. But if you want to take your basics to the next level and expand your range, it's the Midas Perception palette, because here you have some more like basic primary colors, as you can see down here, but you also have some really interesting colors. Like you have a really vibrant like neon limey green. You have this beautiful like teal shade. I live for teal shades like this. I think it's so, so pretty. A beautiful pastel, but not quite, like a really vibrant pastel purple. And you also have some incredible deep shades. You have this beautiful deep evergreen shade, which is just like transforming me to a forest, and I feel like I am in the forest. Other words to describe a forest: lush. It's lush as heck, I gotta tell you that. And then you have this beautiful deep purple. I mean, I could really just go on and on and on and on and on about this palette, but I will refer you to my initial review of this palette, and I think I've done a couple other videos wearing this palette. I'm always trying to wear this palette. I 1000% recommend the Midas Perception palette. It is so, so, so good. I also have a code with Midas that is an affiliate code, so it does mean that I will make a small percentage of the sale, but if you want to save 20% off, you can use code Giovanna, and that will save you 20% off. And this palette is $39. I went ahead and did the math. If you use my code, it is $31, so that's a pretty sweet deal. Midas also does a lot of sales, so they're currently doing a Christmas in July sale. I don't think this is currently on sale, but Midas is having like a really big summer sale, so I will put a link to them down below if you want to check that out. But I am a huge, huge fan of the Midas Perception palette, and it is definitely one of my indie makeup favorites. Alrighty, let's talk about a recent favorite eyeshadow palette. I have only had this palette for a couple of weeks, but I've been using it freaking nonstop, and I'm confident enough to say it's already a favorite, and that is the What's Up Beauty Monsoon palette. Oh my gosh, if you haven't seen the inside of the palette yet, maybe finish swallowing your drink. Do you have a liquid in your mouth? Or are you chewing something? Go ahead and finish that up, because you're gonna spit it out when you see this color story. I mean, it's gorgeous. Let me go ahead and just before we get into it, I gotta swatch these two shades for you, because holy freaking moly, if this doesn't just make me want to scream and shout and dance, because these colors are so gorgeous. These shimmers are unreal. I don't know if you can see the shift to them, but they both have a beautiful like blue purple shift to them. They are so, so cool, so wet looking. That's really what I look for in a shimmer. I'm looking for wet shimmers. They have another shade called Sun right here, which is just like one of the most unique shades I've ever seen. Just looks kind of like a goldy shade, and you're like, whatever, no big deal about that. But then you swatch it and it has such a beautiful greenness to it. I really like that in a gold. I'm not like a bronzy gold type of person. You know, I love it on other people and I love the way that looks, but as a colorful lady, you know, I tend to use gold mixed with color. So I really like that this has more of a greeny gold shift to it. And I'm sorry, like, tell me how this is not worth $1 million. It's just so pretty. I feel like I have melted jewels on my hands. It's so nice. I believe this palette is $38, so not a bad price for incredible quality. And I can't wait to keep using this palette, but it is already a big favorite. I did this look with it the other day and I felt so fire. I felt so cute. I felt hot even. Like, these shades just make me feel some type of way. And this Desert Monsoon palette has quickly become an indie makeup favorite. Okay, so I have about 1 million more indie makeup eyeshadow palettes I could talk about today, but I'm really trying to be good and like give you a good variety of things. So I'm not going to talk about any more, but if you want to hear about a bunch more beautiful colorful eyeshadow palettes, I uploaded a video last week called the best colorful eyeshadow palettes ever, and they were all indie makeup brands. So I will definitely link that down below for you. But for now, let's move on to my favorite indie makeup water activated liners. And again, these are just my current favorites. I have a bunch of favorites. Water activated liner is like my favorite thing in the whole world, so I certainly have a lot of them, and I will link my water activated liner collection video down below if you want to see them all. But for now, I want to talk to you about some products from Glisten Cosmetics. So I recently tried Glisten Cosmetics for the first time. I'll link that video down below if you're interested. I swear this is not just a video to plug all my other videos, but I make a lot of videos whenever I try new things. But in that video, I tried their Glisten Cosmetics Opulence palette. Now this was done in collaboration with Bemused by Betty. Glisten did a really cool collab where they collaborated with 12 different makeup artists on 12 different split liner palettes, and they let them all pick the colors, and Betty's color story was definitely the most appealing to me. I think it's a beautiful color story. You can see my palette is already very well loved. I know I shouldn't mix in the palette, but sometimes, you know, in the heat of the moment when my creative juices are flowing, I just gotta do what I gotta do, and this palette is really great. Really good mix of neons and metallics and also some deeper shades here. Really good color story, very unique to my collection, and I love that about it. I also really love the Glisten Cosmetics Iridescent wet liners. They are pure magic, just absolutely magical. You will not believe your eyes. You are probably not impressed just by me showing you this because it just looks white, but it's not just white, it's iridescent. So I'll show it to you in an eye look. I actually wore it in the look I did yesterday in my Get Ready With Me, and it looks so pretty. It's got a beautiful purpley blue shift on it, which just looks so cool with my purple and blue eyeshadows, which I wear all the time, so that's really fun for me, and it's just a really cool transformative shade. If you already have a lot of water activated liners, but you know, you got the craving to buy more, I definitely feel that craving all the time, and maybe you're looking for something a little more unique, a little more transformative to your collection, I 1000% recommend checking out the Glisten Iridescent wet liners. I want to go back and get 1 million more of them because they had so many different colors and so many different shifts, and they're just really fun, and they're a really cool way to amp up your eyeliner look. So this is definitely an indie makeup favorite, and I'm really impressed with everything I've tried from Glisten so far, so both of these products are indie makeup favorites. Alright, another water activated liner favorite. Again, I got a whole video talking about my whole collection, so I'm gonna try to keep it pretty small here, but I don't think I mentioned in my last indie makeup favorites that I love the By Melolops water activated liners that they did in collaboration with Cutcreaser. Now, By Melolops also has a Radioactive eyeliner collection that I'm wearing on my eyes here today. Aren't these so pretty? Really pretty neon liners. But I am especially impressed with the Cutcreaser specific formula. I don't know what it is about these, but I feel like the formula is better than the neon ones. The neon ones are still good, but this formula is just like incredible. It's like foolproof to me. You can layer these guys up over and over and over again, and they don't crack. I don't know what they put in this stuff, but it's really good. I just picked a couple of my favorite colors here. This is the whole collection. I'll put a picture on the screen here for you. A lot of good colors in here, really good variety of primary colors and exciting colors. I love the white. It's a really good white formula that they have, and white is a hard one to get to not crack, so I definitely recommend the By Melolops one. I also love the shade Queens, named after my borough. Cutcreaser is from Queens. I live in Queens. 2 queens in Queens. We love to see it, but this is a really beautiful shade. And then the shade Point Break is such a beautiful cobalt blue. I find myself reaching for this one all the time. Just a bunch of really good colors, but these are definitely my shade recommendations. I don't think I said the the name of the white. The white is called 3000. I'll list everything down below for you. I'll keep it nice and organized down there. But if you're looking for some good water activated liners, I definitely recommend checking out the By Melolops X Cutcreaser collection because they're an indie makeup favorite. Alright, so I'm almost done with my indie makeup favorites and ready to move on to my indie makeup wish list. But as you can see, I got some brushes in these grimy little fingers of mine. So I want to talk to you about some brushes from indie makeup brands real quick because I'll admit, last year I didn't know what the heck I was doing with brushes, you guys. I was just using whatever I could find. I really didn't see a difference in most brushes, and my blending could attest to that. But I have gotten the honor of being sent a couple of sets of brushes this year from a couple of indie makeup brands, and boy oh boy, good brushes make a difference, I'll tell you that much for sure. So I want to talk to you about the Odin's Eye Saga Freya brush collection. I'm only holding a few of them right here. You can get the entire set and it comes in a cute little carrier and everything, but these eye brushes are amazing. Holy freaking moly. I use this brush probably more than any other eyeshadow brush in my collection. It is the Fr5 brush, the Freya 4 brush. I don't know if you can buy them separately, but if you can and you're looking for a good just like packing brush like this, definitely check out the Fr4 brush. It's really, really good. Another brush I really, really love from them is the Fr5 brush because you can see it's very flat. It's a little C-shaped brush, but it's super, super sharp. It's great for creating like winged eyeshadow liner. Like if you want to do eyeliner with eyeshadow, this is great for that because you can get super, super close to the lash line. Also, just the way it picks up color is really nice. It goes on really nice and pigmented. So I just think this is a really unique brush to my collection. It's also great for the lower lash line. If you're trying to do eyeshadow on your lower lash line, you can really get close to the waterline, which I love. And yeah, those are honestly the two most impressive brushes to me from that set, the Fr4 and the Fr5. So definitely check those out. Some more brushes I want to talk to you about, some face brushes from Midas Cosmetics. I use these two face brushes every single time I do my makeup. I particularly love their contour brush. It's called their Sculpt 1126 brush. Do you see the shape of this? I mean, it just hugs your cheekbones perfectly. And if you're someone like me who has a bit of a more like round face, I don't know if round is the accurate word for my face shape, but I always struggled with contour. I never really knew what to do with it. I found that a lot of contour brushes just didn't really hug my cheekbones correctly, but this brush has made it so much easier for me. I mean, you can like chisel, you can get right in there and it just makes contouring a breeze. So definitely check out the 1126 brush. And then this bronzer brush is also incredible. It is their Bronze 1127 brush. I use it for bronzer and blush. You can really use it for both. It's got a nice round shape here, little duo fibers on the top. Is duo fiber the right word? I think this one has duo fibers too. Obviously, I don't really know what the heck I'm talking about, but this one has a great shape. It's really soft, really good for bronzing. You know, it's not too big, but not too small. Just a really good size brush, and they're really high quality, super, super soft. And if you're someone like me who still doesn't know really what the heck they're doing with face brushes or makeup brushes in generally, I can confidently recommend these two, and they have made a big, big difference in my base routine. So that's all I'm gonna say about brushes now. So now let's move on to my indie makeup wish list. Okay, so like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I may need to do a separate video talking about my indie makeup wish list because I want so many things. There's so many things I want to try from different indie makeup brands, but I'm gonna try to keep it to just a couple. So the first thing I really, really want is Glisten Cosmetics came out with a build your own water activated liner palette, and I'm like, wow, that's everything dreams are made of. Lizzie McGuire can get wrecked because this is what dreams are made of. As far as I know, you can pick like any of their wet liners and they'll put them in a palette for you, which is so, so cool because as much as I love my water activated liners, it can be a little inconvenient having them in pots like this, especially when you travel. I mean, one, it's kind of fun because I kind of just throw a bunch of them in there, but I do lose these literally all the time. You guys who are not new to my channel, who have seen my makeup desk before, know that I tend to live in a bit of a disaster zone all the time. My Virgo sun is crying and my Sagittarius moon reigns supreme with chaos because my makeup desk is a mess and I do lose those little pots very easily. So I feel like something like this could be very good for someone like me to keep a little more organized, and just could be so cool to customize your own palette, you know? The build your own palette craze is huge right now, and indie makeup brands are definitely on the forefront of that. You know, we're seeing more and more brands do build your own eyeshadow eyeshadow palettes, which is super cool. So I just thought it was really fun of Glisten to come out with a build your own water activated liner palette. This is not even like a wish list. This is just like, it's on my wish list, but I already know I'm gonna get it, you know, just when will my wallet allow me to buy it? I don't know, but this is definitely at the tippity top of my indie makeup wish list. And if you have any Glisten Cosmetics wet liner shade recommendations for me, what am I doing? I don't know, grabbing you through the camera, I guess. If you have any shade recommendations for me from Glisten, feel free to let me know about those because I would love to check them out. But yeah, it's definitely on my indie makeup wish list. Okay, next on my indie makeup wish list is Cleona. Everything from Cleona ever. I get so overwhelmed looking at this dang website every time. I could buy any of these shades and I would be happy, but they have so many shades that every time I look, I'm like, I don't know what to do. And you guys have given me recommendations before, but I don't know what it is. I just get a little overwhelmed. I know some indie makeup websites have an option where you can like build a wish list, and that way when they like restock, you can just go in and pick right from your wish list. So I think I need to create a wish list on the website, and that will help me to feel less overwhelmed. I don't know. Do you guys get really overwhelmed when looking at single shadows too? Or am I just being a baby who doesn't want to keep a list of my wish list? But I'm overwhelmed, and I know I've asked for shade recommendations a million times, but for time number 1,000,001, what are your favorite Cleona shadow recommendations? Please let me know. My favorite eyeshadows tend to be like blues and purples and duochromes and multichromes and things of that nature, but I'm also down to just try some really beautiful vibrant shimmers. So definitely let me know your favorites from Cleona because they've been living on my wish list for a long time. Oh, okay, a couple of eyeshadow palettes on my wish list. Let's be real, I got a million eyeshadow palettes on my wish list, but lately I have been hankering for a good pastel palette. I have some good pastels, but every time I see that Cleona Cosmetics Mermaizing palette, I'm like, give it to me right now, please. I mean, it just looks so beautiful. This color story is amazing. I love the mix of pastels they have and the shimmers and the mattes. It just looks really beautiful. The only thing I'm a little nervous about is I've seen quite a few people have it arrive broken, which is pretty wild, but you know, it's nothing they can really do about that, I guess. But yeah, that makes me a little hesitant about it. I would love to know your experience if you've gotten the Cleona Cosmetics Mermaizing palette. Did yours come intact? And was there good customer service if it didn't come intact? Because you know, it can be a bummer when you spend a lot of money on a palette and it comes broken. But with, you know, I still think this color story is beautiful. I'm very interested in it. Another pastel palette that I'm very interested in is the Give Me Glow Pastel Dreams palette. Similar to the Mermaizing palette, you know, similar but different. Both pastel, but like different varieties of pastel. I think this one looks absolutely beautiful. I mean, it looks like pastel, but like vibrant pastels, which is like just everything I want and more. I'm kind of leaning more towards this Give Me Glow Pastel Dreams palette. I feel like this one's a little more my speed. I don't know, it just feels like a good like rainbow pastel palette, which is exactly what I'm looking for. So I don't know, maybe I'll get this one. I would love to know your experience with either of the brands, Cleona Cosmetics or Give Me Glow Cosmetics. I've tried a couple shades from Give Me Glow. I forgot, my friend Artie sent me a couple shades from Give Me Glow. Shout out to you, Artie, you rock. I love everything that I've tried from Give Me Glow so far, so maybe I should just go with Give Me Glow. Wow, this is really like a moment of clarity for me. Not Cleona Cosmetics though, a moment of Give Me Glow, Cleona. Okay, I think I'm gonna get the Pastel Dreams palette, but yeah, that's another one that's at the top of my indie makeup wish list. Alright friends, well the sky is getting very dark and stormy, and I think that is the universe telling me to wrap up this video. So I'd definitely love to make another video talking about more items on my indie makeup wish list. Is that interesting to you? Do you like hearing about other people's wish lists? I love listening to other people's wish lists. I have a bunch of friends who make like highlights on their Instagram stories, and I'll go through everybody's wish list. I'm like, what do you want and why do you want it? Tell me so I can add it to my own wish list. So let me know if you want to see that, and let me know what your indie makeup favorites are. I would love to hear. I would love to hear more ideas for my wish list, and definitely check out some of those products I mentioned on my indie makeup favorites. By Melolops, Midas Cosmetics, Glisten Cosmetics. What else did I talk about? What's Up Beauty, By Melolops, Cutcreaser. I mean, just so many good indie makeup brands. So so many good products. So if you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. I talk about a lot of indie makeup on my channel. I talk about a lot of graphic liner on my channel. I got some exciting videos planned coming up. I got a lot of early 2000s nostalgia videos planned. So if you're into that, I'd highly recommend that you subscribe and check out my description box for a bunch of videos that I mentioned in this video. Also, I'll have all of the makeup on my face today. Also in my description box, I will have a bunch of Black Lives Matter resources, resources to support the Asian American community, and resources to support the LGBTQ+ community. So click on those links if you haven't yet. And I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video when I don't know what to do with my hands. Alright, see you guys next time. Bye!